Hi, my name's Phil and I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss Nigel Farage's latest offer of a pact with the Conservative Party with the stated aim of trying to deliver a majority parliament that is pro-Brexit, as he would describe it. What he really means is pro-no deal Brexit. But first, if you find yourself enjoying the video, then please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. So, Nigel Farage people have been asking about this. He's been swinging from one position to another. He talked about a pact with the Conservatives some time ago. Then he said, no, we're going to be fielding candidates in all 650 constituencies, and we have 500 ready to go already. We're fully funded, all the rest of it. Now he's swung back to wanting what he calls a non-aggression pact with the Conservatives. Now, I am pro-EU. I want us to remain. I'm certainly in favour of a public vote again. And I have said that the Brexit Party are the Remainers' secret weapon. The fact of the matter is, if the Brexit Party do field candidates in all those constituencies, that's going to do a lot of damage to the Conservative Party. And never mind where the Brexit Party are now in the polls, they haven't really been campaigning. They're saving up their major campaigning for when there is a campaign. A general election hasn't been triggered yet. You can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as a general election is triggered, they will go on full-scale campaign mode yet again. But what about this offer of a pact with the Conservatives? Obviously, if they were able to agree some sort of pact that maximised the number of pro-no deal Brexit seats, that would be a worry for me, because they may get quite a lot. And when you've got opposition that at the moment it's a lot firmer than it was, but it's still fairly chaotic, then that is a serious worry for a general election, even in November. But the thing about this pact, I mean, all the people that are in favour of a no-deal Brexit are probably loving it, thinking, oh yeah, this will win at us. The problem with a Brexit Party Conservative pact, from their point of view, is that it's very much like Brexit, in that everyone thinks they know what it means, but nobody really does. For example, what would this pact be? Is this pact that the Brexit Party would not field candidates in any constituencies, therefore giving the Conservatives free rein in all of them? No, they don't mean that. They can't mean that. Nigel Farage at least definitely wants a seat. If we leave the EU, under any circumstances, but he wants us to leave with no deal, or so he says, where's he going to get his money from? This is an extremely idle person. He wants easy money. He was getting it from, you know, being an MEP, and also by being given money by people in favour of Brexit. He's been given a lot of money by Aaron Banks, for example. All that money dries up as soon as we leave the EU because he ceases to serve any purpose. So, you know, he needs to make sure he's at least got a seat for himself. So he's not proposing not putting up any Brexit Party candidates. So is he proposing only putting Brexit Party candidates in seats that the Conservatives wouldn't be expected to win? No, he's not talking about that. Is he at least talking about not putting any Brexit Party candidates against the Conservatives? No, he's going to be putting Brexit Party candidates against Conservatives, even in ones that are currently Conservative seats and might even be considered relatively safe Conservative seats. So what is the pact he's offering? Well, there it is. The devil is in the detail. In his own words, what he's offering is, if the Tories don't run against certain seats, and he gave an example of a couple of Labour seats, but he's not just meaning that, then in return, he won't put Brexit Party candidates against Tory candidates that, in his words, are pro-leave. But again, what does he mean by pro-leave? Does he mean he's not going to put them up against Conservative MPs that are in favour of Brexit? No, go back to what he said. He said recently, that is, I mean, he says all sorts of things, doesn't he? He was in the referendum, before the referendum, saying that, of course, we'll be in the single market. But now, more recently, he's been saying that a no-deal Brexit is the only acceptable form of Brexit. But that is what he is currently saying. So basically what he's saying is that with this pact, he might not put Brexit Party candidates up against Conservative MPs who are full-blooded no-deal Brexiteers. But I think that's only about 90 Tory MPs. There are only about 90 Tory MPs that have stated that they are okay with a no-deal Brexit. The rest have not. So what Nigel Farage is still talking about is putting Brexit Party candidates up against most Conservative MPs, as well as against a number of other candidates that he doesn't consider to have the correct Brexit credentials. Now, in a situation like that, maybe Boris Johnson would try to deselect any pro-European or at least anti-no-deal Brexit Party candidates, but then he'll be accused of dancing to the Brexit Party's tune in order to do that, and that's likely to lose him a lot of moderate Conservative support. As it is, by shifting to the right, he already risks an awful lot of centre-right voters, instead of voting for the Conservative Party, voting for the Liberal Democrats. And this would just add to that. So, although at first sight you might look at this and think, well, this makes sense. After all, both the Brexit Party and Boris Johnson both say they want Brexit, if necessary a no-deal Brexit, and we all know that Boris Johnson really wants the no-deal Brexit. So it makes sense for them to come to agreement on which seats they should target. But this isn't like a Remain alliance. In a Remain alliance, where you've got the Liberal Democrats, the Green Party and Plaid Cymru, for example, in Wales, and the Liberal Democrats and the Green Party potentially in other parts of England and Scotland, it's quite clear. You sort of know from past voting habits which areas are the ones that one or more of those parties has no chance in. Take the last by-election, Brecon and Radnorshire. The Liberal Democrats were the challengers to the Conservative Party. Plaid Cymru and Green Party had no chance. So it was relatively straightforward for them to step back. It's quite easy to sort out a Remain alliance in that case. This sort of alliance is very different. How do you judge who is the most likely to win a seat, the Conservatives or the Brexit Party? It's quite difficult. You can try and go on polls, but how accurate is that for an individual constituency? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Ultimately, it's a political discussion between the Conservative leadership and the Brexit Party leadership. And it takes the form of the Conservative leadership. Let's assume it's Boris Johnson. But of course, if he goes along the path he's threatening to at the moment, there is every chance that he will not be the Prime Minister when the general election is triggered. That might or might not necessitate his resignation as Conservative Party leader as well. We'll see. But in that scenario, you're talking about a discussion whereby the Conservatives withdraw from an awful lot of seats that they would like to challenge for and accept as part of their pact the Brexit Party standing against Conservative MPs. Now, how is the wider Conservative Party going to take that? So what I would say at this point, and I've said to others already, I will wait to see what actually happens as a result of this, because although it's not impossible this will happen, I still don't see it as terribly plausible, because Nigel Farage wants power. Ultimately, he wants political power. Bear in mind, he could have joined the Conservatives ages ago. He proved his campaigning mettle years ago. But he never joined the Conservatives. Nor has he joined the Conservatives when it started lurching to the right, when the ERG took over. He's still not joined then, because he wants his own personal power base. And then on the other side of it, you've got Boris Johnson, who's already fighting a losing battle in the Conservative Party. And does he really want to piss off the hard right that actually supports him and supported him by saying, oh, by the way, I'm going to allow the Brexit Party to risk all these Conservative seats, to risk all of these Conservative MPs losing their seat just so that I can withdraw in a few seats where I might not win anyway. Because from that point of view, it's not really an even bargain. I don't really see in what Nigel Farage is offering what the benefit is to the Conservative Party. Now, don't get me wrong, Boris Johnson will be eager for some sort of pact, because at the moment he's almost certainly stuffed. He's already looking at a situation where if he doesn't come up with a pact, he's fighting the Brexit Party and splitting that right-wing vote in every constituency he fights, including his own. And his is not a safe seat. He could see his seat go to Labour very easily. On the other hand, from the Brexit Party's point of view, they just want to concentrate their resources into a decent number of seats. They want a showing in Westminster. They don't just want 1 or 2 seats. They want a decent showing. They want to form a coalition with the Conservatives. They want to get into government, is what I'm saying. And it's very difficult to imagine how, at the moment, any sort of pact is going to satisfy both sides. So that's why I would say, I'm not saying it's impossible a pact would come about, because it's in the interests of both sides to find one. But I'm not really willing to believe that both sides are willing to compromise. Both sides are going to try and get the better deal in this, and there'll be very limited time to sort it out as well. So my inkling at the moment is that it probably won't happen, even though it is in both of their interests to make it happen. But it might. But anyway, there you go. Add your own comments down below, of course. I shall look forward to those with relish. If you found the video interesting, and you'd like to support the channel further, then please click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.